Hey everybody, welcome. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing some maintenance on the Cyclekart on the Viscount Vincent number 7, getting this thing race ready. I've got it pretty well torn apart, as you can see here. It's just a bare chassis. Got the motor on the workbench and the torque averter. I've already sprayed some of this Comet lube in the torque averter on the mating surfaces. I'll show you how that works in a minute. But really wanted to show you was I started cleaning the chain and was astounded how dirty this was. So check this out. So this is the chain off the Viscount Vincent, and now it's pretty clean. I used some brake cleaner to spray it down in this bucket and a little brush. But look how much, I can see how much dirt is in here. This is all from the chain. All those bits of dirt and grime and grut in there, that all came off the chain. So clearly I need to clean my chain more often. This is probably not good for it. In fact, when I was just looking at it, there are some spots where the links are tight. Let's see if we can find that spot now. Right here, like this link doesn't want to turn on itself. So it's really tight right there. I can't make that go together. Well, maybe I could if I force it, but it shouldn't be that tight. So I did buy a new chain for this. My dad's cart has one of these racing chains, and really nice. RLV makes this chain. It's number 35. So I'm going to put a new chain on it, and I'm going to clean this up and shoot it with some chain lube and put it in a bag, so if I ever need it for anything, I'll have it, just an emergency kind of thing. But right now, I think because it's probably gotten too dirty, it's got some wear, or maybe there's some grit just jammed inside those spaces between the chain links. Not going to put it back on the cart, so that's okay. I've got a new chain for that. And yeah, so getting some maintenance done on this thing. I need to get to clean the carburetor out. We sucked in a bunch of dirt at the last event. Here's the air cleaner. And this got smashed because I got rear-ended by somebody. And this thing's completely jammed full of dirt. So it's kind of crushed. So I got a new air cleaner for it right here. And get this thing back to tip-top shape. So we'll clean this little filter for the rocker box, or the, I don't know, what do you call that, little vent thing. Get this all cleaned up. I'll pull the carburetor apart and get it cleaned up. So let's get started on it. Oh, before I do that, let me get some stuff out of the way here. So this is a lubricant that I found on BMI's website. I think it was BMI. Anyway, they had the chain lube and they had this Comet lubricant for the torque averter. So the idea of this is to spray the metal surfaces that touch metal. So inside this little brass piece, not the outside, but the inside, and then this surface here, so that these will ride smoothly. I also sprayed inside, because this was really tight when I first got it. This didn't really want to open up by hand. So I sprayed these surfaces in here, and the surfaces deep inside there. When you pry this apart, this will open up, and you can get onto that metal surface down there, plus your chain surface. Let me see if I can find my little tripod. I can show you what I mean by that. Okay, so this is the clutch business part of the deal. So when you pull this apart, you kind of twist this deal. It'll pull apart the, kind of hard to get a hold of on the bench here. Twist it a little bit and then pry it apart, and you can see that made it. Shit, I can't get it to open up. Hang on. There we go. Kind of twist it like that. You can open up that mating surface in there, and you spray inside there. You can see where this kind of rides in and out. You want that to be nice and loose, so that lubricant helps with that. You don't want to spray it on any surface where the belt is going to go. You don't want the belt to slip. You want the belt to make good contact, not slip. So nothing in this surface, on these surfaces here, or on the surface where this belt rides on here, and or on the other clutch portion, which is this surface here. So you don't want any of that lubricant on here, because that's where your belt rides. So you want to keep that clear of any grease and oil and dirt. You want to clean all this up real good. I did spray it all down with brake cleaner, just kind of get all the dirt and grime off of it. There was a little bit of dirt on there, not much. Belt dust also. I'm going to go ahead and replace the belt while we're doing it. So I've got a new belt. This is a replacement for this exact belt. So I wrote on my old belt 2015 to 2020, so this is 5 years of wear. This thing still works great, but I'm going to keep it just in case this ever burns up. We need a backup. No sense in throwing it away. So the next thing to do is to get the carburetor taken apart. Okay, so just to get your carburetor off your motor, 10mm deep well sockets needed because of this these deep recesses where these bolts are at. If you got a stock one, it's probably just a regular 10mm, but you need a deep well to get into here. I cleaned this up already a little bit. 10mm bolt on the bottom to take the bowl off. And then you're going to remove this little pin to remove the float. A little pin there, set that aside, you don't want to lose any of that. I'm just setting it in the bowl along with the float. Set that all aside, and then inside here, the little brass screw you got to remove. That's where the clogging happens. There's little, I don't know what you call this thing. It's got the little holes in it. Anyway, that's where the jet is at. So we'll get that pulled out next. Yes, you're gonna need a very skinny screwdriver to get down in there to get this little tiny brass deal. Be careful not to strip it. I've already broke it loose. It wasn't too tight. I'm just gonna unscrew that. And wants to come out of there. There it goes. There's your jet. That little deal there. That's where the screw card is at. And there's another piece down inside there. It's not coming out. There it is. Okay. So that's the one thing that gets all clogged up. This little tube with all these little tiny holes in it. And so the trick is to make sure you get that all cleaned out and you can see daylight through it. Which actually doesn't look too bad. I can see daylight through it. There's a little bit of clog right there. I can see you can't see through that one. So we'll spray some carb cleaner through that. Try to clean this out as best we can anyway. Make sure you see it coming out, kind of all the holes. See it coming out now. But they got it cleaned. So that's the culprit that gets really clogged up. So we'll do the jet too, just in case, but it's probably fine. Okay, so we'll get this thing, I'll clean it a little bit more, make sure I got all this little chunks of dirt and stuff out of that thing. So I was just trying to figure out a good way to see if all these were clear. Found the best way is to hold a little flashlight up. There's 4 sets of holes, so you can see straight through on 2 sides, and then flip it over, see straight through on 2 more sides. So you should be able to see straight through all 4 sides of all 4 of those little tiny holes. If you can see them in the camera, light's probably blinding it. But that's totally cleared out and clean. The jet is totally cleared out and clean. I'll spray some stuff down through the carburetor, so then we'll put this back. Assembly goes back pretty much the way it came apart. Okay, so assembly is just the opposite of disassembly. So this goes pointy end in, and then your jet goes in. No, you don't have to be a gorilla with that. Okay, and then we're going to put our float back in. Now there's a little rubber bit there that goes in that little white spot there, so you got to put that in that spot. Doesn't matter which side this comes in from. Just want to make sure it's in the little hole there. Okay. When you put your float bowl on, that's going to hold the pin from sliding in and out. So that's in. It's in the proper spot. The float bowl is going to go on it. And let's see, this is sort of the front area. So we'll put the drain toward the front so you can get to it, which is this little deal right here, in case you ever want to drain your carburetor. Okay, that's good. Make sure you've got your little bush or little seal on there. And run that down. $10mm. Okay, you don't have to be a grill, it just wants to be seated, so it's seated all the way around. And we ready to put that back on the car? That's pretty easy. Hook up your throttle cable, throttle rod rather, and your fuel line. Do that before you bolt it down, because slide it forward and get to it. Slide it forward and get to it easier. And I didn't mention earlier, but I've got like a clamp holding the fuel line so it doesn't drain fuel everywhere. Fuel line. Okay. There we go. There, and we're going to put this back on, and this choke has to go down. This is the choke holder. Here's your choke. Let's see, how does that go back in here? Like this. This goes on first, because that has to go in that little hole. Then your choke holder is going to clamp that down right there. So your choke opens and shuts. Okay. Forgot something. I forgot this. This is important. So it only goes on one way. It'll line up with those marks on your carburetor. So, there we go. Now this goes on. Got ahead of myself. But that's kind of normal for me. Get this tightened down a little bit here in a minute, and take the clamp off the fuel line. So this is a clamp I'm using. It's just like a medical tool. I got this at Harbor Freight for a few bucks. Works great. Okay, so we just drained the oil, so you're gonna need a 10mm wrench to drain it. I ran about a half a quart of fresh oil through it and then drained through it. See all this black stuff coming out of here? There's just a lot of buildup of dirt and carbon, whatever it is in the bottom of the motor. It takes a bit of flushing to get it out, and it's probably not completely clean, but better than just draining it and not doing anything. So now we're going to put new motor oil in it. So you're going to want to get motor oil designed for, if you can find them for a lawnmower, that's fine. These are for ATVs or motorcycles for 4-stroke air-cooled motors. So that's the kind of motor oil. You can run regular car motor oil in it, but this is specifically designed for this type of motor. So just fill it up until you can see it in the sight tube here. So it's pretty simple. Okay, so we got the oil filled, and you want to fill it to where you can see it in the little window there. The other drain tube or dipstick has a little dipstick on it, but you can see it there. It's close on the threads. That's perfect. And if you look at this, it's about 15 ounces left, so we used about 17 ounces of oil. Give you an idea about how much oil it should take. Approximately. That's a Honda motor, so Predator might be slightly different, but you can see where that's left on the tube there, or the jug. Okay, so I got it all mounted up, got the new chain on it, everything's hooked back up. I gotta resurface the air cleaner still and clean that other little filter, but I think we're done with this for now. Carburetor's cleaned out, torque averter is cleaned and serviced, reinstalled with a new belt and lubricated. So I think we'll call the end of that. That's the main part of the maintenance I'm doing on this. I got some other stuff I'll be doing, but this is kind of the basic stuff for annual maintenance or semi-annual maintenance. Probably the more you run it, the more you need to clean these things up. So hopefully that was informative to you. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll be happy to help as best I can. Thanks for watching these videos. I really appreciate it, guys, and have a great day.